is now an official vaccination location. So, who can get their shots here? First, register on the UNT website. Beginning Monday, Texas is giving jabs to everyone 16 years and older. 16 and 17-year-olds will be directed to call the health center because only the Pfizer vaccine is approved for their age group. Older people will get the other vaccines as well. The one big reminder is this: if you sign up for a shot at UNT, you must be able to respond to the vaccination site in about 30 minutes of the call. The school wants to make sure no vaccine goes to waste, so they'll move on to the next person on the waiting list. Now, I talked to President Neil Smatras today about UNT's plans to vaccinate the student body.
My hope is that we first establish that our frontline people are vaccinated. People who are in student-facing or people-facing jobs, dining people, people who work the union, people who work the front desks or information areas, as well as our faculty members who are teaching face-to-face.
With UNT hoping to reopen face-to-face classes next semester, Smatras says getting vaccinated is key to returning to a pre-COVID campus. To register to get a vaccine from UNT, you can visit my.unt.edu.
You know, Michaela, how about that crazy thunderstorm we experienced last night here in North Texas? I have to say it was just quite the surprise.
I know, David, but yeah, I was glad to see the sun come right back out. Let's check in with our weather anchor, Shaji Adam, to see if that sun will stay. Shaji?
Thanks so much, Goose. Yes, the weather is a little crazy today. It was nice to see the sunshine, but it's nice to kind of have that cold breeze. But let's get into our first look right now. So our current conditions right now: high of 63, pretty good weather. It's actually surprising for Texas, but it does feel like 61, a little cooler, like I said, but it's just nice to feel that breeze. And that nice breeze is going 10 miles per hour, but the sun is still out, which is nice. Now let's go to tonight's conditions. So later on in the evening, it's going to go all the way down to 48 and still feel like 48. So it's going to be a little cold, but not as cold as it used to be, when all the weather went crazy, and the wind speed will be 10 miles per hour. And with that, let's go into tomorrow's conditions. So for tomorrow, it's going to be a little hotter, of 78 degrees. We're starting to get into that normal Texas weather that we all know and love, and it's going to feel like 75 with 15 miles per hour wind speed. It's definitely going to be interesting. Be sure to stay later in the newscast as I go over our 7-day forecast. Michaela, back to you.
Thanks, Shaj. The Denton County Youth Fair has come back for another year and another round of competition. Steer, rabbits, goats, and swine are just a few of the animals that will be judged. Along with that, the fair will include a silent auction and crown the Youth Rodeo Queen and Princess. Treasurer of the Denton County Livestock Association, Ralph Hawkins, hopes that the fair will be able to educate and inspire kids.
Supporting the youth of Denton County and promoting agriculture and education. Education is real important because, as I've said before, we're becoming less and less rural, and it's important that we try to bridge the gap between urban America and rural America.
The youth fair will run until Saturday, March 27th.
Now, I have never entered a county fair, but it does sound like both a lot of fun, but also a lot of work.
I think that is a very true statement. NTTV's Armando Berry is finding that out right now. He is at the fair with a very special set of interviews for us. Armando?
David, it's day 4 here at the Denton County Youth Fair. If I'm here, then I'm talking to the winner, and here he is. You won your class today, so that means that you're the most admired steer here. Let me know, how does it feel? Come on, too good for an interview? The fame's already gotten to your head. I'm just kidding, guys. Here's the real star of the show, Kyle Real, a senior from Crum High School. Kyle, you've been preparing for this show for nearly 4 days now. What have you been doing all this time?
Just been feeding him, taking good care of him, make sure he looks the best he can look.
Absolutely. You're a senior in high school, so I mean this is your last time getting to be involved with this show. What are you going to miss the most about it?
I'm going to miss going outside every day, taking care of my livestock. I'm going to miss hanging out with my friends, and I'm going to miss most of all coming to these shows and just enjoying the atmosphere.
Absolutely. Thanks for talking to me, Kyle. This is my first time at a stock show, so I might have to come back next year. Michaela and David, everyone here is having a great time, so let's send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Armando. When we come back, President Biden meets the press for the first time.
And later, an Easter combo you may not have expected. Stay with us.
Imagine it's ice cream day at the office. And everyone from the day before voted for their favorite flavor. Everyone but you. You decided not to vote. The flavor they picked isn't the one that you wanted. But can you really complain? Shh! Now imagine that with an elected official.
Choose not to vote, choose not to be heard. Get registered today.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
For the first time of his presidency, President Joe Biden went before the press for a formal news conference. Although the U.S.'s fight against COVID-19 was the main topic, reporters pressed the president on many key issues from immigration, gun reform, and foreign policy. CNN's Karen Kafa has the details from Washington.
Just more than 9 weeks into his presidency, Joe Biden facing the press in his first news conference.
I want to give you a progress report to the nation.
The event happening later for Biden than it did for his 15 recent predecessors. The White House saying the president wanted to keep focus on his COVID-19 recovery agenda in his first weeks. On that topic, he announced a new vaccination target for the country.
We will, by my 100th day in office, have administered 200 million shots in people's arms. No other country in the world has even come close.
But in recent days, other urgent issues have demanded a spot on his agenda. In the wake of mass shootings in Georgia and in Boulder, Colorado, that took the lives of 18 people within a week, Biden was pressed for how he'll work with a sharply divided Congress to deliver on the gun control reform he's promised.
It's a matter of timing.
And similarly, about a legislative solution as the U.S. grapples with an influx of migrants, many of them unaccompanied children, at the southern border with Mexico, overwhelming detention centers amid the ongoing pandemic.
What we're doing now is attempting to rebuild the system that can accommodate what is happening today.
In addition to domestic policy issues, Biden also addressing a number of foreign policy challenges, including North Korea, China, and Russia. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
The airline industry looks to be rebounding with passengers. Although numbers are still down for pre-pandemic levels, the Transportation Administration says it has screened more than 1 million people for 2 straight weeks. On Wednesday, more than 1.1 million people flew. That number may seem very high, but that was only 54% of those who traveled on that day in 2019. At the lowest point during the pandemic, only 1 in every 10 seats were occupied. This recent spike could be attributed to spring break. This is causing concerns among health officials who have been discouraging people from traveling. United Airlines says it will resume service to international points and add multiple flights to its U.S. domestic vacation destinations. Continuing with flights, Southwest Airlines has resumed its traditional boarding procedures by scrapping its pandemic policy of boarding passengers in small groups. The nation's largest domestic carrier, which is known for not assigning seats, began boarding passengers in groups of 30 on March 15th. The airline had been boarding passengers in groups of 10 since they unveiled its Southwest Promise health and safety protocols in May. A company spokesperson says Southwest customers are familiar with the airline's standard boarding style and expect the normal boarding procedure as they start flying again. Travel is now showing strong signs of hope as more and more Americans are vaccinated and the coronavirus case count slowly improves around the nation.
Thanks, David. The aftermath of our ice and snowstorm in February is worse than we thought. Late this afternoon, Texas authorities raised the death toll from that devastating storm to 111 people. That is nearly double the number of deaths originally estimated. The storm knocked out power across the state, resulting in people losing fresh water supplies, heat, and electricity. In some cases, the outages lasted for days. Our weather anchor, Shaji Adam, joins us now with an update on a series of storms that just hit Alabama. Shaji, just how bad is the weather?
Michaela, a huge tornado hit just southwest of Birmingham earlier this But this storm is dangerous for more than just Alabama. The National Weather Service is saying nearly 50 million people are at risk of strong storms through tonight. But for us, all of Texas is in the clear. So let's take a look at our current temperatures right now. So seeing what's near us, kind of expanding out right now. Excuse me, I think our mic is not working properly, but let's go right now. 58 degrees in Graham, and you kind of look at the north. Bowie, Gainesville, Sherman, all relatively in the same area. Same thing here with Decatur and Denton and McKinney. All of us enjoying that kind of colder 60-degree weather. Same thing down in the south, actually a little hotter in Dallas and Fort Worth, enjoying the kind of high 60s, nearly 70s degree weather, and Stephanie over here. And if you look on the other side, for Paris and Sulphur Springs, 64 in Paris and 66 in Sulphur Springs. Let's kind of expand it out a little bit and see what's going on in the rest of Texas. And upper in the north in Amarillo and Oklahoma City, high 50s near the 60-degree weather. In Abilene, it's actually pretty hot with 67. But look at Houston. Houston is always the anomaly in Texas. 81 degrees there. They're enjoying that hot weather as great as they can. They're having a pretty good spring. And with 73 degrees in Shreveport, but El Paso enjoying that really low 64-degree weather. But now let's kind of bring it back to us and see what's going on for that 7-day forecast. So when you look at our 7-day, obviously 78 degrees for Friday, then on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday. Look at that, cloudy weather all around, but it does get a little hot on Saturday at 78, low 54, and a 30% chance of rain. So you know in Texas it's definitely going to rain, and the same thing is going to happen on Sunday, chance of rain, so be wary of that. But once the new week comes of Monday and Tuesday, it actually is going to get a little hotter of high 71, and on Tuesday, high of 80, but then Wednesday, it's going to be really cloudy and 20% chance of rain. And on Thursday, it gets a little sunny again. So overall, the week is kind of up and down. We know what it's like here, spring in Texas. But be sure to always have your rain boots on, have your umbrella with you, and we'll see what happens. Michaela, back to you.
Thanks, Shaji. The world is full of new technological advances being released every day, and there's a new advancement in our North Texas area. NTTV's Nathan Mayer can tell us more about this tech. Nathan?
Thanks, Michaela. The City of Arlington has just released the first transportation program using autonomous vehicles, and that program is called RAPID. I'm here with Rob Carter, the Site Operations Manager. So, Rob, what does RAPID actually stand for?
RAPID stands for Rideshare Automation and Payment Integration Demonstration.
Wow, that's a lot. What kind of cars do you guys have, and how many are there?
We have 4 of these Lexus RX 450 hybrid vehicles, as well as 1 Polaris GEM, which is our handy-capable vehicle.
Wow. And when are these rides offered, and how does that all work?
These rides are offered Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and people can book their ride through the VIA app.
Wow, awesome. Well, thank you very much, Rob. And you guys know what the best part is about these cars? In these rides is the price. Okay, the price cannot be beat. The program keeps the fares low for your customers with the highest cost of any driving above 6 miles at only $5. Now, the RAPID program is still requiring riders to wear their proper safety requirements like their masks and so forth, and are implementing additional safety features, including a screen between the driver and the safety driver and the passengers themselves. That's all I have right now. I'm gonna catch a ride back to the studio, and I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Nathan. Coming up, if you're a UNT graduate but you didn't get that full graduation experience, you may have a special homecoming coming in the future.
And later, some exciting news for UNT football fans and NFL fans alike.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
Didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
Happy birthday, UNT. It has now been 60 years since North Texas State College made the decision to change college to university. The university decided to celebrate literally like we've never celebrated before. Most of the festivities this year will be online. However, there will be a few exceptions. The university is elected to host some in-person events, including a t-shirt giveaway and a live showing of the 1961 movie, The Parent Trap, and the ever-popular Stuff a Scrappy event. Students must post a negative test between March 18th and March 22nd to attend these events. For the past several graduations, students have been denied the chance to walk the stage because of COVID-19 protocols, and many were upset. But there is good news. President Neil Smatras says there are plans for graduation in May.
Still, I have a lot of confidence that not just the graduates, but their moms and dads and grandparents and brothers and sisters and everybody else have received vaccinations. I'm still confident that this is the best way to do it. We actually looked into trying to announce names. It would add 2 hours to every ceremony, and the logistics of trying to run the ceremonies out in the open, along with all the other things that we're doing, get really complicated. So it's with sadness that we are doing it this way. I wish we could do it another way, but we'll still have a celebratory aspect.
Smatras also said that any student who was denied the chance to walk due to COVID-19 is welcome to come to the winter 2022 graduation for their chance to be recognized and walk across the stage.
Now, Michaela, I'm thinking of getting some food after the show. You have any good suggestions?
Well, you're in luck because our segment anchor, Christine Guevara, has the perfect restaurant for you. Christine?
Thanks, guys. This past week, I visited a trendy little restaurant here in downtown Denton. A restaurant that specializes in unique flavors from both Japan and Latin America. Sounds delicious to you? Well, come on over and check out Komodo Loco.
Komodo Loco was established in 2017 by 3 local Denton guys with a passion for food. They found just the right spot in downtown Denton on 109 Oakland Street and have served the community ever since. One of the owners, Kyle Kruger, gave his time to talk about the non-traditional Asian restaurant.
We were trying to come up with something a little different. I mean, we were kind of basing it on the location and not just what we thought we wanted to do. In fact, we came up with the concept after we agreed to take the location. So we just kind of got creative and just thought about something fun and different that would fit the Denton community here.
You will truly get a feel for both Japanese and Latin flavors from each dish on the menu, whether it be the Loco Dragon specialty roll, the bao sandwiches, or the tuna and crab cones. There is even a unique twist on tater tots and nachos called tachos.
Most people ask, like, what are tochos and whatnot, and we say, oh, tachos, they're just like nachos, but tater tots, no chips. And they're like, oh, and of course, you know, smoked pork and queso and Korean barbecue sauce and spicy mayo and all these things. We have a kimchi version and a lotte version.
The restaurant is also partnered with Joy Macaroons right outside of Dallas, so your sweet tooth will be satisfied after a delicious meal. So, come on down to the full-service restaurant bar with your friends and family and enjoy the taste of Komodo Loco.
To learn more information about the restaurant, check out their website at komodoloco.com. Michaela and David, back to you.
Thanks, Christine. Now, if you're looking for a sweet treat and are feeling lucky, this is the dessert for you. To kick off the spring spirit, Peeps and Pepsi are teaming up by combining these two sweet flavors. To grab your hands on this exclusive item, Pepsi is giving away 3,000 packages through a social media contest. To enter, all you have to do is post your favorite springtime activity on Instagram and Twitter. Pepsi states that if the new flavor Peeps are a hit, we could eventually see them being sold publicly.
Well, lots of good news surrounding a UNT football player.
It's nice to finally see a rise in UNT sports. Let's go to our sports anchor, Zach Fox. Zach.
Thanks, guys. Jalen Darden had his pro day performance earlier today, and the Dallas Mavericks among some of the biggest trades of the day. Stay tuned.
You've made yourself a target, James.
Okay, that's perfect. But I had a great time talking to you today. I have one more question. Is wrestling really real?
What?
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
When you park in front of the ramp, somebody can't make it up the ramp. When somebody can't make it up the ramp, they miss their class. When they miss their class, they fail their final. When they fail their final, they drop out of school. If you drop out of school, you get a face tattoo from a guy named Scorpion. Don't get a face tattoo from a guy named Scorpion. Be courteous. Don't block wheelchair ramps.
29 of the last 32 NFL teams sent scouts to watch the greatest player in UNT football history perform for Pro Day. Jalen Darden, sitting at 5'7", 174 pounds, put on a show as expected. Darden with a pair of 40-yard dashes in the 4.47 to 4.48 second range, as well as dominating several other drills, showing off his elusiveness and agility as well as hands. After his performance, several scouts were impressed with his work, in which Jalen replied with, quote, "I did well. I came out and was very consistent. I was proud of what I did." Jalen with a dream to go pro ever since he was 7 years old and playing for his dad, a role model he lost due to a heart condition this past summer. Playing for him his entire senior year, and now using that loss as fuel as his eyes gaze upon the NFL draft April 29th. Huge NBA trades have been made today, including Victor Oladipo to the Miami Heat, Aaron Gordon to the Denver Nuggets, and Rajon Rondo to the LA Clippers. But for a DFW team looking to bounce back after last season and losing Seth Curry in the offseason, the Dallas Mavericks collect another three-point specialist in J.J. Redick. In his 15th season, Redick didn't even last 2 seasons with the Pelicans and took a step back in performance with only averaging 8.5 points a game. But with Luka and Porzingis receiving the attention on the interior, that opens up Redick on the outside, where he is most lethal. Forward Nikola Melli also joins Dallas, while Dallas gives New Orleans James Johnson, Wes Iwundu, and a second-round pick. North Texas guards James Reese and Jalen Jackson enter the NCAA transfer portal Wednesday. Reese was a huge asset on the team's March Madness run with 11 a game. Jalen Jackson, who scored 17 off the bench in 19 games, mentioned on his Twitter that he is confirmed to transfer. Reese hasn't publicly confirmed yet, but UNT has confirmed he's in the portal. James Reese is a senior, but the NCAA has granted another year to all players due to COVID-19. Reese shooting over 34% from 3 and could be a huge lift to teams needing immediate help. Jackson is leaving and is sad to see, and with Reese potentially leaving, it makes us look back to this year's historic run and be grateful for the players who grew up part of the Mean Green. Michaela and David, sad news to end on, but we wish the best of luck to them in their decisions and their future of basketball.
Thanks, Zach. Now, dogs are truly man's best friend, David, but this dog took it one step further.
CTV's Colton Prell has a story. Take a look.
Meet Clover, a 1.5-year-old Maremma mix. Haley Moore and her family rescued her as a puppy. Tuesday morning, Clover returned the favor.
So all I remember is waking up in the ambulance and just being really confused, like what is going on?
Haley was walking through her Stittsville neighborhood with Clover when she had a sudden seizure. With no one around, Clover sprung into action, first checking on Haley, then watching as a passing car drove by. It wouldn't happen a second time. After freeing herself from her leash, Clover forced the next vehicle to stop and help.
It was really impressive. The dog Clover actually blocked my way. She kind of backed into the road to block the truck.
Dryden Oatway immediately did his best.
So I rang the closest doorbell as many times as possible, ran back to her and flipped her over on her back and just tried to keep her head straight.
It wasn't long before Clover caught the attention of another neighbor.
Good thing they have the dog, because she's a very good friend to her.
Haley was treated by paramedics, and while they're not sure what caused the emergency, Haley knows if it happens again, Clover is there to protect her.
I feel 10 times safer, and I know she will be there for me.
The family dog quickly becoming the family hero.
And Diane comes home with a couple of big steaks, and I thought, wow, this is great. I'm getting a steak. And she said, no, it's for Clover, for doing such a great job.
Man's best friend, now Haley's as well.
You know how good animals are, and she is a really amazing dog, and I love her so to death.
Colton Prail, CTV News.
You know, David, I never feel more safe than when I have my dog.
You know, the funny thing is I don't have a dog, but that was such a beautiful story. I might just stop, at the animal shelter right after this.
I will come with you. Thanks for watching NTTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.